It was early summer in Melbourne, December 2nd, 2010, when 24-year-old Phoebe Handsjuk was found dead at the bottom of a garbage chute in a luxury apartment building. Her body lay crumpled in the refuse room on the ground floor of the Balenciaga Tower, a high-rise in an upscale neighborhood. The scene was gruesome. Her foot had been nearly severed, bones broken, head bloodied. Her pants were found around her knees, and blood marked the concrete beneath her. Shockingly, investigators quickly concluded Phoebe had entered the chute herself, feet first, from a small hatch 6 floors up in the apartment she shared with her boyfriend. They said she slid down, struck the compactor below, and bled to death alone. The official ruling: accidental death. But to this day, her family, forensic experts, and much of the public do not believe it. Because almost everything about this case feels off. Phoebe was young, artistic, and full of life. She was also struggling. She had recently battled depression, anxiety, and a dependence on alcohol and sleeping pills. But at the time of her death, she was trying to improve her health. She had signed up for a yoga retreat, scheduled a haircut for that weekend, and was reconnecting with her family. She lived with her boyfriend, Anthony Hample, a successful events promoter and the son of a retired Supreme Court judge. The pair had an on-again, off-again relationship. Close friends later described it as controlling and emotionally turbulent. Phoebe had reportedly attempted to leave him on several occasions. She even emailed herself affirmations like, "Ant will try to win me back. I must be strong." She never sent those emails to anyone. They were discovered later, drafts she had written to herself. On the day she died, CCTV captured Phoebe acting strangely inside the building. Barefoot, holding 2 bags, looking confused. Some believe she may have taken a sedative, although toxicology would later reveal only trace levels of prescription medication. She returned to the apartment, had a drink, and at some point later that evening her body was found. That's when things got stranger. Police said she had voluntarily climbed into the garbage chute, a 40-centimeter wide opening, about the size of a laptop screen. Experts later described the chute as mechanically very difficult to enter, even for a small, flexible person. There were no fingerprints inside the chute. She was also found with her jeans around her thighs and no shoes, yet there were no drag marks on her legs or injuries to her hands or shoulders that you would expect from squeezing into such a space. Additionally, the key card log showed no one else entering or leaving the apartment between when Anthony Hample left for work and when he returned around 6 p.m. But that leads to even more questions, because when police arrived at the apartment, they noted a broken glass and blood drops near the computer table, a toppled laptop, which was later found to be wiped clean, a cleaned wine glass believed to be the one Phoebe had used, a trail of blood that didn't quite match the garbage chute narrative. Despite all of this, Anthony Hample told police he knew nothing. He said he had just come home from work, found the door slightly open, and assumed Phoebe had gone out. He claimed he was unaware of her death until the police told him later that night. What's more, he didn't attend Phoebe's funeral. Nor did he publicly speak out, except through a lawyer, and he refused to participate in a full, recorded police interview. One of the most chilling details came from the forensic evidence. Phoebe's injuries were extensive, but not all consistent with simply falling down a chute. A second, independent autopsy, commissioned by her family, showed bruising on her upper arms and wrists, possibly consistent with restraint, head trauma, a laceration on her lip, and no drugs in her system that would have rendered her unconscious. Even more shocking, Phoebe was alive after the fall. Blood evidence suggested she struggled for over an hour in the darkness of the garbage room before she died. Despite these troubling inconsistencies, the coroner ruled her death accidental. They theorized she may have been trying to dispose of a broken glass and, in a confused or emotional state, climbed in voluntarily. But her grandfather, Lorne Campbell, a retired detective, wasn't buying it. He immediately began investigating the case himself. He pointed out dozens of problems with the official story, and later publicly stated he believed Phoebe may have been murdered, or at the very least pushed or coerced. He also found out something shocking. The initial police report had vanished from the file. Entire pages were missing. Investigators failed to dust key surfaces for fingerprints. And despite this being an apparent suicide or accident in a luxury building, no footage existed of the garbage chute hallway. In 2016, the podcast Phoebe's Fall brought international attention to the case. Journalists re-examined the evidence, interviewed experts, and exposed failures in the investigation. Yet, to this day, the official verdict remains unchanged. No charges were ever filed. No inquest reopened. The building, the chute, and the apartment are all still there, just as they were the day Phoebe died. Her family continues to push for justice, but with every passing year, the chances of learning what really happened grow dimmer. Phoebe Handsjuk's death isn't just an accident that feels wrong. It's a cold case hiding in plain sight, tucked behind legal silence, missing evidence, and an official record that seems to have looked the other way. Until someone speaks or something new is uncovered, we may never know the truth of what happened that evening in apartment 1201. This was the story of Phoebe Handsjuk,